Alright, welcome to part 2. This part here, you should see this thing multiple times before. Can't stress enough how many times you see this. Alright, so adding and subtracting polynomial. Step 1. Every time you have adding and subtracting, meaning you should see something like this in between them, 2 parentheses. Occasionally there will be less fancy. You will only have 1 pair of parentheses, not 2 pair like this. Alright, so step 1, like usual, you need to remove parentheses. And I can not spell, so I just put those 2 parentheses there. ... Remove that. So now to remove parentheses here, you need to know that whether you do keep, change, flip. Keep, change, or flip. Depending on cases. We see this thing a lot. Basically saying that if you have a negative in front, you have to change everything inside. If you have positive in front, you keep it. So for the first pair of parentheses, there is no sign in front of this, meaning you have to keep it the same. For the second equation here, you should be able to notice that there is a plus sign in front of that. And as we know, if you have a plus sign in front of everything, every parentheses, that thing stays the same. So in here, positive 6x should be just positive 6x. Negative 14 should remain negative 14. Once you got that thing done, you can combine like term. So when you look at this here, you should be able to see that 6x and negative 4x here are nearly identical, meaning that they have a number, they have an x next to it. So we can combine them. Negative 4 plus 6 will be, should be 2x. Then you have 9 and negative 14. 9 plus negative 14, it should give you a negative 5. And this is how you answer it. Similar concept, I would like you to try number 2, 3, and 4. You can start now by pausing the videos. Alright, so I assume you paused the video and try by yourself. If you didn't, I will not judge you whatsoever. So here, number 2. Before we remove parentheses here, we have to do something special since we have a 3 in front of it. To do that, you have to distribute the 3 inside first before you do anything else. When I say distributing, I mean multiply those. So 3 times 3, it should give you 9. And put the z next to it. 3 times negative 2, that should give you negative 6. For this pair of parentheses here, you have the distributing. Since there's a positive in front of that, you keep it. You don't change whatsoever. So positive 7z here should remain positive 7z. Positive 5 should be positive 5. Once you have those, you can combine like terms. You should see that 9z and 7z are nearly identical because they have a number, they have a z next to it. So combine those two, 7 plus 9, it should give you 16 with a z. Please remember the z. Without that, this question will be off completely. Last but not least, negative 6 and 5. Negative 6, positive 5. Add those twos up, it should end up with negative 1. If you don't believe yourself, you can use calculator through your iPhone. Just try it. Next questions. Number 3. For number 3, you have to do remove parentheses. Ooh, here we go. Number 3, if you want to do this thing, you have to remove parentheses. Since the first pair of parentheses here, you have no sign whatsoever, meaning that you have to assume it's a positive sign in front of it. And as we do with positive, we keep everything in here. We don't change anything. 3x plus 5. Second pair of parentheses, you have a positive sign in front of it. Positive means you keep everything inside the same. So negative x squared, it should still remain as a negative x squared. Positive 6x will be positive 6x. Minus 4 should be minus 4. Okay. From there, you should be able to see that x squared and x squared are identical. Different sign, give and take. So then you can combine like term. X squared, gone. So these two will be gone here. Because x squared plus negative x squared will be gone. There was 0 in there. There's no point in doing those. Second part, you got positive 6x, positive 3x. So 6 plus 3. Top portion on that. 6 plus 3, let's see, it should be 9. X there. Last but not least, going to be positive 5 and negative 4. Positive 5 minus 4 should give you 1. Positive 1. Same concept on number 4. You remove parentheses. Should end up with t squared plus 3t to the third power minus 3. So second pair of parentheses, you do the same thing because there is the positive sign in front of it. So you keep it. And so in here it should be 2t, so it's positive 2t squared. Positive 17 should remain as a positive 7t. Negative 2t to the third should still going to be negative 2t to the third power. This thing here is a little bit tricky because they're not in the right order from start. So, you can be reorganize it now or you can do it in the end. It literally doesn't matter. It's up to you. So now in his case here, we do realize that t to the third power, t to the third power. They are the same, so you can combine them. 3t to the third minus 2t to the third. 3 minus 2 should give you 1. 1t to the third. Next part, let's see, t squared. T squared plus 2t squared. Now over here, you can assume that there's a number 1 in front of it. Let's just make your life much easier. So 1t squared plus 2t squared, it should give you 3t squared. Last but not least, it should be negative 3. Well, negative 3 is bad self. So, negative 3 here. Last term, positive 7t. Since there is no positive 7t in this case, it has to be remain the same. So, positive 7t. And this is your complete answer here. For subtracting, you can pause the videos, or if you want to keep going, you could. For subtracting, same concept, you have to remove the parentheses. So for the first pair of parentheses here, I remove it. It should end up as a d minus 5. There's no change whatsoever. For the second pair of parentheses, you have to do something here, since there is a minus in front of that. Where you're distributing the negative sign in front of that, or minus sign, into each element in here. Their sign gonna change. For instance, 3D will become negative 3D. Negative times negative 5 should become positive 5. After you do this, you can proceed to the next step, which is combine like term. D, negative 3D. You can assume there's a 1 in front of this to make your life much easier again. So 1D minus 3D. 1 minus 3 should be negative 2D. Negative 5, positive 5, gone. Nothing else. You can go ahead and pause this video right now and try number 2, 3, and 4 by yourself. I'll wait. Alright, so I assume that you actually do this thing, 2, 3, and 4. And let's go over this. So for this one here, you remove the parentheses again. You remove it. Since there's no sign in front of this, everything in here will be the same. It should end up with negative 4h minus 2. For the second pair of parentheses, since you have a negative in front of it, when you're distributing that negative in here, everything in here will change. For instance, positive 10h will become negative 10h. Positive 4 will become negative 4. And from there, you can combine like term. Negative 4h, negative 10h. Negative 4 minus 10, or negative 4 plus negative 10. That should become negative 14h. Negative 2, negative 4, negative 2, plus negative 4, negative 6. For number 3, remove parentheses. This thing should end up with 4x to the third power minus 9. For the second part, you have a negative in front of it. Everything in here will change because you're distributing the negative inside. That should give you the first one. Negative times 3x to the cube. So this should be negative 3x cubed. Negative will become positive 2x squared. Negative, positive, negative. Then you combine like term. 4x cubed minus 3x cubed. That should give you just 1x cubed. Alright, so after that, it should be the second power, because 3 is the highest. The second should be this one here, because that's the second highest power in the whole functions. Since there's nothing else look alike with this, you just have to move it down. Last but not least, constant versus constant. Negative 9 minus 2, it should be, or you can say that, well, negative 9 plus negative 2, negative 11. You can use your calculator to do this thing. So please don't sit there and torture yourself trying to figure out those. Last but not least, number 4. So to do number 4 here, it's same concept. You have to remove the parentheses. But in number 4, you have a 2 in front of this. So before you remove those, you should be distributing this inside. So 2 times r to the 4th power, so it's going to be 2r4. 2 times r, positive r, so it's going to be positive 2r. 2 times negative 9 should be negative 18. For the second pair of parentheses, you're distributing the negative inside. Negative times negative 6r to the 4th power, it should be positive 6r to the 4th power. Negative times negative r squared, positive r squared. Negative times positive 2r, negative 2r. After that, you can combine like term. This r4, r4, look the same. You can combine them. 2 plus 6 should be 8, r4. Second highest power should be this one, r squared. There's no r squared in these terms beside this. So all you have to do is just move it down. Last but not least, let's see, got negative 2r, positive 2r. These two will cancel each other out because they add up to be 0. What's going to remain will be negative 18. This is your complete. Any questions? Again, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email, remind, or just simply wait and ask me for tomorrow. In part 2.